Yeah, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you? It's good to have you on. Nice to speak to you.
Yeah,
How have you been?
flat out, absolutely bananas.
Been
Literally,
busy.
the moment to get up till the moment to go to bed, it's like da-da-da-da-da-da.
Chocker
Doesn't
all the
stop.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I had to do my taxes and my VAT today as well. So
busy day. Yeah. So obviously this weekend, obviously massive weekend for you and Circus. Elrow back in town, and it's not just one show; it's two shows. So how excited are you to have that back in?
yeah, I mean it's our last gig of the season, I suppose, until we come back for our 20th birthday in September. But yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. There's gonna be two sold out shows. And I don't know if you've been to Elrow Party before, the full
Yeah, I
on,
went. I went twice last year. I went
oh
to both
really,
days
yeah.
last year. It was great. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, so then it's really good fun.
yeah,
Um, it's party, it's not like chin strokery at all. So yeah, man, just looking forward to laying down some tunes, and I'm gonna play after Scream and before Green Velvet.
yeah,
So I've got to really go for it as well because what Ollie plays at the moment is it's pretty big. So I'll have to follow him.
yeah. I was going to say, you excited to have Green Velvet back in town?
Yeah, well, he was actually meant to play Elrow last year, you see.
Oh right, yeah,
But because of all the messing around with COVID, he wouldn't leave America. But Green Velvet, he's been playing for Circus for 15 years probably, and it's great to see where he's at now. Because he was always like a proper, like almost like a techno DJ
yeah,
as Green Velvet, and Kashmir was a bit more housey. But it's interesting now because he's I guess he's more known for being like a tech house guy because of
yeah.
he's completely changed his label as well, Relief, into more of a kind of like a tech house label rather than kind of really trippy out there specialist techno label what it
Yeah,
used to be. So yeah, I guess he's always fun to have around, and he's a great DJ and a brilliant entertainer, and he's a really good laugh as well.
yeah. I was just going to say about Elrow, it always seems so much more popular, like anywhere in the world, it always seems to sell out instantly. Do you notice that as well? It sells out really quick.
Well, yeah, I mean, it appeals to kind of a wider demographic, and the people just want
Yeah,
to go and have some fun. It's like an experience rather than kind of
yeah,
just like a DJ set. So I think that's more important than the music.
yeah. I was going to say, weirdly enough, the last gig at Bramley-Moore Dock was actually Elrow last time, wasn't it? The 2 days. And obviously now you've moved to Blackstone Street Warehouse. I was going to say, how have you found the movement, and how's the new venue?
The, the move was very, very, very short notice, shall we say.
Yeah,
I won't go into detail there, but we had to get out, and so that's that. And Everton are now building the ground
yeah,
on the old site of Bramley Moor Dock. So we moved across the roads just by chance. I mean, we've been looking for a venue for years, and just by chance, this one showed up. So
yeah,
that we're lucky, but the amount of work that has gone into kind of making it rave safe, if you like, with all the
yeah.
additional fire escapes and because the venues we've got, they don't have no toilets, no bars, no. They've got electricity now. But even Bramley Moor Dock never had water or electricity, so you
All
can
right,
imagine what you've
yeah,
got to build on every gig. So trying to put together a gig in one of those warehouses, forget the lineup, and forget marketing it, just making it happen is unbelievably complicated and unbelievably expensive, to be perfectly honest.
yeah,
But we manage it each time, and we try to make the sound better and the lights better and the experience and the flow and the drinks and
yeah.
every time we try to kind of improve upon things. Um, Running an event there, it's very much like an iceberg scenario. You see the rave at the top, but really this is this big thing
So
underneath.
much
That's
going on.
really kind of it's so much work and effort. But we
Yeah,
have a great team, and we managed to pull it off.
yeah. I was going to say about the new venue. Is there anything you like in particular compared to Bramley-Moore Dock?
Um, Yeah, well, you know what I miss about Bramley Moor Dock is being near the water.
Yeah,
I like that, but what I don't miss about the Bramley Moor Dock is being near the water because it got in the winter it got cold.
yeah. It was cold down there,
So
wasn't it?
yeah, it got chilly. Yeah, it was good in the summertime and probably great at Elrow last year,
Yeah,
but this year over where we are now, it's not as cold. We have I'd say the sound's better and getting better. The longer we have it, the more we can improve. But I think it's in good shape. And considering we've only been there for a few months, the amount of people that have come through, like Coxie, Bayer,
Yeah,
like Sonny, Marco, BB. It's ridiculous, really.
yeah,
It's been relentless. So, but yeah, so we're enjoying being there, and we're going to be there for a few years to go.
yeah. I just got to check my notes for this because I'm just making sure. Just going back a few years now, or 20 years, like you said, for the birthday. The first ever circus event was actually in Rich's girlfriend's pub. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
see, when you look back on that now, are you thinking, are you and Rich proud of how far you've come? And secondly, can others take inspiration from that and see you can build something up so small into such a big event like yours?
Yeah, I mean, I was already DJing around, like touring like internationally by that point, and I was resident at Cream. So we left Cream, and then Cream shut, and then I had to move over. And Richard Yesterday using the mask as it was, and literally from day one, it felt right, because Rich and I put 500 quid in each, and we just stuck at it. And I think that's the key, is being persistent and
Yeah,
not kind of working to kind of take a salary or money from it or any of those things. Because if you start doing that, you're not going to get very far, because you're going to get a rude awakening, because
yeah,
it's really, really difficult to kind of make money on club events, really. But it's taken us a long time to get to where we are now. Like I say, 20 years, and we've had some amazing nights. I like to think, I know I'm not stupid enough to think it's the same as it always was, but for me, I feel the same as I always did about it, which is I literally want people to just come in and have a good time and feel safe and listen to new music. And that's been the same since day one. And obviously it's expanded and it's bigger and it's like globally known, and there's a record label and all those things these days. But for me, the ethos is the same. I just want people to have fun.
yeah, definitely. Obviously, you've been touring recently and speaking a bit, and you're in America. So how was America for you? How did you find getting back out on the road, especially over there in the States?
Well, it was nice to kind of get back on a plane again. Excuse me,
Yeah,
it'd been like 20 months or something, 22 months since I'd been on a plane. So that was kind of cool. The gigs over there, it's good, but it's not like over here
it's not
or
Liverpool.
around Europe or Ibiza or Spain or any of those things. It's a little bit. It's like something to do. It feels like a lot of people over there.
Yeah,
New York's great and LA's great, but in Miami's good as well, in fairness. But I love the other places. The real small towns is where you want to be playing in America, because they really mean it and believe in it, and there's a bit of a culture.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's just different in America. It's good fun. Appreciate going. But there's just one thing that I don't like doing now is being on the road too much and feeling compromising my kind of time with my children and my vitality need to go above everything else. And
yeah.
that's one thing that I'm sticking to. And then the gigs have to come after that.
Yeah, I was going to say, because when you're away, obviously you can't do absolutely everything. So the circus team, they're looking after stuff. How good are they when you're away and stuff like that?
How good are they? How can I put this? We've got Neve, Jay, and Tom who work for us full time, and they know more about my business than I do. Let's put it that way. Especially like Neve is a kind of our boss, I suppose, and they're all so detailed, so committed. They put so much effort into things that I haven't got to worry. And to be honest,
Yeah,
they've got the office in Liverpool, and me and Rich kind of float around. I show up in the office now and again. I run
yeah,
Circus and do all the bookings and stuff from home, where I am now, or from my phone when I'm on the road.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're in very, very safe hands with those guys.
Just going back to when you're touring in America, can you notice a difference in the ravers and stuff between, like, say, in Liverpool and America? They're not as into it, or is the crowd energy different?
It's different city to city. I mean, America's like massive, isn't it?
Yeah,
So like you go to some places and you really believe in the music, and they'll be there all day, depending where it is. Other places, it's kind of like a day out, if you like, and it's just a bit of fun, and it's drinks
yeah,
and bottles and all that stuff, and which I'm not really into. But it's different. It's just a different thing. I don't think people from the UK realize how like amazing they've got it over here. because there's so many amazing clubs nationwide. Even in just Liverpool, there's so many amazing nights.
Yeah.
And, all the way from like 50 to 100 capacity, all the way to 3,000, and all stops in between. And, so we're definitely blessed and spoiled in Liverpool to have like such a passion for the music. And, there's so many amazing nights here. So in America, it's similar in a lot of ways, but it's just, are they ravers? I'm not sure.
Going more
but
for
they
the sake of
definitely love the
going.
music. Yeah.
So I know you're very busy, so you've got your DJing, you've got your events, and then also Circus recording. So how's that going at the moment?
Yeah, good. Now I've got some more time because I was homeschooling the children for 6 months. It's a long story,
Busy.
but I've got a couple more days a week to kind of concentrate on it. I mean, we're on 160 odd releases now,
Yeah,
and it's in good shape. I do obviously like high profile releases, if you like, and they really push them across. But I also like to support the other end of the spectrum, like new kids kind of coming
Yeah.
through, and I do these compilations called Movements, which is all about just seeing kids that haven't had a chance to put a single out before, or they're sending me demos which are really quite strong but couldn't quite be a single on their own. So kind of piece them all together and give them like a little opportunity to grow, if you like, and to develop and feel a little bit of support. So we do that as well, but the label overall is in a solid shape, and it's getting better.
Yeah, and obviously the talent in Liverpool at the moment. I was just going to talk to you about that. You've got so many DJs coming through now. Do you think Liverpool's becoming a real main point for DJs? You've got yourself, you've got Sosa, you've got Camelphat, plenty of others as well. I can't think, but
No. Well, it's very important to us that we, me and the label and the events, we all kind of roll crew deep, if you like, and make sure, like you say, Sosa, Camelphat, Melee, Lauren Losung, Paige Tomlinson, more recently, obviously Lewis Ford and James Organ. There's a matter of fact, there's a whole kind of like range of amazing artists in the city that are, all predominantly doing house music. I know Camels is a bit more man trance these days, but those guys have put more than a shift in Liverpool. It's like 20 plus years themselves, working hard, trying to get somewhere, and now they've got all the way to the top. It's absolutely brilliant, and it gives like an opportunity and kind of like I say, hope for people coming through, that if you do commit and put the hours in, you can get to wherever you want to go. Like if you look at Circus, that's exactly what we did. I'm doing it myself. Camelphat did it. James Organ's putting the hours in. Sosa he's putting the hours in. Lauren, and it's the same pattern. Keep on pushing, keep on working hard, and stay committed.
Yeah, and obviously we had I feel like it was a bit like a Liverpool showcase last year down the docks. We had yourself, we had Camelphat, we had Lauren on. Just want to talk about them shows, how great they were, because that venue was, the amount of people that talking about it was just great, wasn't it?
At the Pear Heads.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was amazing. Just to be involved in that show on both sides of the coin. It was absolutely brilliant. And again, I say this to Mike and Dave Camels quite a lot, but without trying to sound like patronising, but like the pride I take in their success, and the pride to see them sell 12,000 tickets down on the Pear Head. And there was a full lineup. There was me, Lauren, Kolsch, and all that stuff. But really, it was about them.
Yeah.
And just to see what they've achieved, and then we all kind of like stood shoulder to shoulder and did it together. It was brilliant. Really, one of the best days Liverpool's ever seen.
But looking ahead now in the summer, Ibiza's reopening, which is good. It's been a long 3 years. I know you're back out there this summer. Are you looking forward to playing again?
Yeah. I go next week to Elrow, funnily enough, for Amnesia. Then I've got my debut High, then a couple like Ushuaia, another Amnesia, I think, and things like that. It's looking not as crazy as it was. I sometimes I do 20 gigs a summer, but this year I'm happy doing 6 or 7. Because I'm doing other stuff like South America and America, and rather than just going back to Ibiza every week, which, don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. But yeah, it's looking healthy apparently. So I've heard ticket sales for the clubs in Ibiza are like 30-40% up on they've ever been. So all the
Yeah.
clubs are going to be absolutely jammed. So it's going to be a good summer.
I've got a few questions off people when I've put it out online. They mean
Oh,
you're having
wow.
a chat. So these are just some quick questions. So someone asked, what is the favourite venue that you've ever hosted the circus at?
You know, it's difficult to say because when I'm thinking of all the different highlights, you know, we think of the mask where it all started, the first parties and the 500 essential mix, me playing 5 hours, but then Campbell Furnace when we had to go there, you know, just by chance, and then
Yeah.
it was completely derelict, and we had to kind of build the set, and then we were like responsible for Campbell Furnace becoming Campbell Furnace
Yeah.
because, and then, you know, you think about Bramley-Moore Docker doing the first dance, and that was just like unbelievable. And then now we've got the new venue where we're kind of a bit more grown up in there in terms of like ownership and stuff like that. But you know, it's always about the moving forward for me. You know, they've all got their own highlights, but it's always about what's happening in the future. And you know, also when we did the Palm House a few times as well, that was brilliant.
I've got a Netherlands fan asked, when will you be back in the Netherlands again, partying?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I play Perseiven in Amsterdam often.
Yeah.
But I've obviously not played it since COVID. But I'll give Casper a shout, actually, the guy that owns it, see what's happening, because that's one of the world's best gigs. It's really, really good.
Someone asked, would you rather be stuck in a lift with John Barnes or Mr. T?
Oh, shit. That is a tough question. Let's see. Oh, no. You know, I can't believe
John Barnes might be a bit more friendly, I suppose, than Mr. T.
You know, I think Mr. T would probably get all God Squad on me, which I'm not down with at all. So probably, you know, but I'm going to go with Barnesy.
Yeah, Barnesy. We'll have Barnesy for that one. Someone asked, what is your favourite lineup you've put together? So out of all the circuses, is the one you think, I can't believe you've put that one together? Or
well, you know, it would
loads,
probably have to be the first dance.
Yeah.
Just because it was, like say, 3 weeks notice. I have to say, Rich did most of that lineup on that occasion.
Yeah.
But to get like, you know, the Blessed Madonna, Jada G, Camelphat, Sven Vath, Hot Since 82, Heidi, Jaguar, just ridiculous.
Yeah, it was really good.
And everyone was so happy, you know, on that day. But yeah, I would say that one. But also the very first Circus birthday when I finally managed to get my hero Derek Carter to play.
Oh yeah,
so good.
How many years ago was that? Was that 19 years ago now?
Yeah, and Derek's will always be one of the world's great DJs, you know. So that was special for me. Yeah.
Someone put, is there anyone that you haven't had at Circus yet that you do want to eventually get there, or have you had most people on?
We've had everyone except for the Chemical Brothers.
Yeah. So maybe
that's
one
all
day.
Really, you know. So we keep on moving forward and do what we can. But like I say, we don't look back. We think we've been really, really lucky, and we've worked incredibly hard over the years to get everyone that we'd like. It was brilliant getting Danny Tenagula a couple of years ago. But again, we always like moving forward. But overall, I think we put a good shift in.
Yeah, and finally, someone asked, what do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for making people feel happy. That's it. You know, it doesn't matter whether it be my job, my children, my family life, work, anything. I just want people to feel good. That's it.
Yeah. All right, mate. That's all the questions I had anyway. So
all right,
appreciate
Ben.
you taking the time.